Milkrun sacks 20% of their workforce. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. Grab your stein of coffee because, well, you're not going to be able to get your booze and groceries delivered within minutes. Because, well, they're cutting staff. I don't get it, guys. It's like the couple, you know, that were earning 180 grand a year and doing it tough. I don't get that. I don't appreciate this. I don't get it. If you really want some groceries or some booze in a few minutes, you just get in the car, go to the petrol station. Okay? Boom. You're paying a little bit of a premium, but you're doing it. Isn't that what people normally do? Or is this targeting like inner city people who don't have a car? You know, I mean, arrives in minutes. Sure. I mean, look, there you go. It's inner city Sydney. I mean, couldn't you walk out of your apartment building, go across the road to like a 7-Eleven or somewhere? Or are we just getting too lazy? Is that what this is? Are people just too lazy to even walk to the shops? I remember years ago when I was doing Uber, you do like the, you know, driving people around, and that was annoying enough, but it was the food delivery. I felt really bad because you'd be getting this big bag of this greasy shit, taking it to someone's house, and then you'd see this person who could barely make it to the door, waddling side to side, could barely fit out. I felt like a drug dealer giving them this junk food that was just going to exacerbate themselves, slowly killing themselves. Maybe we need to get off our asses instead of getting milk delivered. But anyway, I'm just a you know, a boomer, pretty much. That's what's happening now. So let's have a look at this. Milkrun lays off 20% of staff as the tough market conditions bite. Yeah, we're potentially hitting a recession. So getting home delivered stuff like this, and I mean, if it's the same price, why not? But I doubt it. It's unable to turn a profit. Yeah, it's another venture capital funded project that was going to revolutionize the world. I mean, you got to burn money somehow, don't you? Yet another Australian company has had to cut jobs as all its rivals have already collapsed, unable to turn a profit amid tough market conditions. So, 1 in 5 staff at embattled grocery delivery startup Milkrun has been laid off, and delivery hubs have also been shut down. On Wednesday, Milkrun founder and CEO Danny Millam announced in a message to his workforce that 20% of them were being let go. This just shows you that these businesses, they don't give a shit about you, okay? If you get all the fake bullshit like they put out on LinkedIn where it's business family and, you know, they care about you. Whenever anyone says, you know, a business is like a family, you've got to be worried because it's not like a family, okay? They don't give a shit about you. I learned something new about my wife, a story I haven't heard before. So when Rachel left, she moved up to Queensland. She did her first degree in Adelaide and then did the second one here in Queensland. And that's where she met me, at university. And when she left, she was doing it really tough because, well, her workplace had just cut her hours down significantly, so she didn't have any money. And that's when she had to make the decision of, do I eat or do I go out and drink? I think the only food she could afford was noodles and peas. So, I mean, she was too proud to ask any of her family members for help, and they were really annoyed by that because they would most certainly have helped her. But, you know, she did it tough. She made it here. It was all good. But she didn't. I heard another aspect of this story, and this is something she's kept secret from me for over a decade because she knew exactly how I would react. She gave them like 3 months' notice that she was leaving. And this was just a little, you know, Donut King job. It wasn't a real job. It was just a temporary little job while she was studying her degree. She gave them 3 months' notice and was shocked at how fast they could find a replacement for her. This is when she learned that, you know, your employers, even if they act nice and you may drink and socialize with them, they're not your friends. Because they found someone else in an instant for a Donut King job. And then they had the issue of they wanted to keep the new girl because the existing girl was going, so they gave the new one all the hours. So that was a lesson where she learned that, yes, businesses aren't your friend. And she finally admitted that to me, over a decade later. We've been married even longer than that. And you can imagine how I responded. I thought it was cute. Poor little 20-year-old Rachel thought that her employers at the Donut King were her friend, and she was not easily replaceable in that job. I thought it was adorable, but shit, I laughed at her. But I mean, that shows you here. Same thing here, guys. You know, Milkrun 20%. You know, that's not performance based. That's just cutting a line on the spreadsheet to keep the scheme operating, in hopes that he can turn a profit or maybe get more venture capital funding. We'll have to see. So this is obviously very difficult news to deliver and receive, and I'm sorry for those of you whose roles have been impacted. The newly unemployed were offered counselling and well-being services. I don't know. I mean, I remember I lost the job when I was working for an architectural practice, and I managed to get one real quick too. I mean, it's different careers, I guess. And I didn't need counselling or well-being services. I needed some booze at the staff lunch. SAC staff, I guess you're probably not allowed to do that anymore. It's politically incorrect to drink at work. SAC staff who had been at the firm for less than a year are not entitled to a redundancy packages under the law. But a spokesperson said was going beyond that by ensuring laid-off workers received their statutory entitlements with additional ex gratia payments. They said the severance pay was based on tenure. In a full note to staff, Mr. Milham blamed the terminations on the difficult economic climate. Or it could be that this is another business that actually people used during the lockdowns, but now we're back to reality, and you realize paying a premium to get stuff delivered to your house because you're too lazy isn't necessary. But then again, you know, I was just talking to another friend where I'm getting stuff prime delivered, like, you know, this here. Little SAT5 SATA cable. I needed to hook a hard drive up to a computer. It was easier for me to get this on Amazon than to go to a local supplier here in Australia, or up the road, because I have to drive and go there and this, and when it can get delivered in one day, I'll do it, but I'm not paying extra for it. Maybe it just shows you Amazon's going to corner the market. When will they have groceries here in Australia? How many people will do that with their Prime membership? With economic and market conditions changing rapidly, we need to get ahead of the curve and evolve the way we operate to fit the current environment and extend our runway, he wrote. This means making some structural changes and some tough decisions that will unfortunately impact some of our people. From today, we'll be consolidating a number of our hubs, but we will still be continuing to service all our current markets. They should just really flip the whole business over to providing services to Amazon, honestly. We'll also be making some structural changes at HQ. This means we'll be reducing the total number of roles across the business by around 20%. Reports differ about the fate of casual staff, with the Sydney Morning Herald writing that casual workers had not been receiving shifts. However, the AFR reported that casual staff had mostly been converted into part-time or full-time workers, which decreased how much they earned per hour. A Milkrun spokesperson said in response to the allegations, Milkrun requires a certain proportion of the workforce to be flexible. Some casuals have been offered part-time and full-time roles. We will still receive a number of casuals employed as of today's date. Well, they still have. Yeah, I mean, okay, you're not putting someone on, I mean, if you're going from casual to full or part-time, you're still incurring the same liabilities. It's just now it's better, might be slightly better for your cash flow, but an organization like this shouldn't be screwing around with those numbers. It's unclear how many staff have been impacted, but in June last year, Milkrun had over 1,000 people in its workforce. 1,000 people. Founded by young rich lister Danny Milham, Milkrun raised $11 million for his venture before it even launched in September 21 and attracted a record $77 million in funding the year after. There you go. It's just a venture capital baby to try and turn it into the next big thing. Milkrun promises to deliver groceries in under 10 minutes, but in a shocking letter to consumers in January, Milkrun sent out an apology because deliveries was taking much longer. Under 10 minutes in Australia, I doubt it. Last year it emerged that Milkrun is yet to reach profitability, with Mr. Milham saying the company had been losing $40 per order at one point, but had improved drastically. Yeah, of course. Of course. None of these things make money. It's not about making money. It's about getting, well, enough interest that you can go public, and or maybe flipping this over to a project overseas, and then all the venture capitalists can cash out. Isn't that what you have to do? A Milkrun spokesperson said the model is now profitable and it had more than a year's worth of funds to keep the operation running. As Milkrun's fate hangs in the balance, one only has to look at the other Australian grocery delivery ventures to know that the company has its work cut out. In March 22, news broke out that Quidco, which promised deliveries within 2 hours, had gone under. Just a month later, Send, which promised to deliver groceries in under 15 minutes, had collapsed, putting 300 jobs across Sydney and Melbourne at risk. In July, Deliveroo, a Victorian food delivery company that styled itself as a rival to Uber Eats and Deliveroo, also folded. In November, Volley. How many of these bloody things are there? I mean, this is the thing. You know, what's the moat here? There's no moat here. What you're doing is you're setting up all these things, and they're just going to get, all of them will get deleted once Amazon starts doing grocery deliveries in Australia. That's what it is. You know, that's what it is. Well, let's have a talk about this one. In under 10 minutes, guys. In under 10 minutes, you just go to the petrol station. For a big delivery, sure, makes sense. You know, for your weekly or monthly shop. But that's not new. When I was at Woolworths, we would do home delivery there. You could do that forever. Okay, you pay $7. It's probably a bit more. Who cares? Is that the end of the world? Is that... this is not... How is this thing revolutionary? Okay. We'll have to see. I don't know. Would it be on your list to invest when it goes public? Tell me, guys. I wouldn't be betting on it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check out my other channels, Heiser Bim and Heiser Does. If you're a fan and enjoy the content, you can support us on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. And I'll see you all next time. Take care, guys. Get your milk delivered and your booze. Actually, I wouldn't mind a 6-pack of rum now. Maybe I better do a milk run to the bottle-o.